imagine losing your vision? What a nightmare. Especially because she works in design, Oriana added, stricken. Hilary Coleman, who'd just had surgery to treat her glaucoma, was Megan and Oriana's half-sister, the daughter of their half-brother, Roland Coleman. For a very long time, Megan and Oriana had known of the existence of their older Nantucket half-brothers, Roland and Grant, yet they'd also known they weren't to approach them. Their father, Chuck Coleman, had cheated on his first wife to such a degree that he'd begun a second family with Megan and Oriana's mother, without divorcing her. When Roland and Grant had discovered his secret, Chuck had bribed them not to tell. But as a result, Roland and Grant decided to cut Chuck out of their lives forever. Roland and Grant's best-laid plans had blown up in their faces, however, when Roland's daughter, Samantha, had found a series of diaries from her great-aunt Jezebel, in which Jezebel had written the dramatic details of Chuck's affair. Over the previous summer, the two sides of the Coleman family had slowly come together. Everyone except Roland and Grant, of course, who still partially blamed Oriana and Megan for their mother's death. This, of course, wasn't fair, as, back then, Oriana and Megan had been children, unversed in family dramas and heartache. Oriana had booked them 2 suites in the gorgeous Dominic Hotel in Greenwich Village, the hotel she frequented on her many trips to New York per year. The fact that Megan could tag along this time pleased her. Traveling was better with someone you loved by your side. So often, Oriana had sat all by herself in Central Park, at a beautiful restaurant, or in a museum, wishing she could talk about her experiences with someone. Oriana and Megan got out of the convertible at the hotel entrance, where Oriana handed off the keys to a valet driver, and a bellhop took their suitcases. Around them, the city was alive, loud and panic-stricken. Taxis beeped and honked as the streets seemed to shake, possibly with the weight of a subway train underground, and the smells were a mix of garbage, hot dogs, and concrete. There was a reason Oriana wanted to live in Martha's Vineyard. She remembered it every time she came into the city. Still, there was no refuting the city's magic. It was everywhere you looked. Oriana and Megan parted when they reached their suites, deciding to rest up for an hour before they grabbed dinner and went for a walk. Inside her room, Oriana stretched out on the king-sized bed, thinking how nice it was sometimes to stay in hotels and feel anonymous in a huge city. Oriana grabbed her phone and called her husband, Reese. His deep baritone voice came through the speaker a moment later, her anchor in any storm. He sounded happy. "Hi, honey. Did you make it?" "We did." Oriana curled into a ball on the bed and cupped her phone to her ear, trying to feel like Reese was closer than he was. "And the hotel is just as beautiful as ever." "I'm so glad to hear that." "What are you up to?" "Well, Benny and I are about to head outside for another round of baseball," Reese explained. Oriana's heart filled with love. Benny was their 3-year-old grandson, the only son of their daughter, Alexa. Over the past year, they'd been lost in a nightmare as Benny had been diagnosed with cancer and gone through treatment after treatment. Miraculously, Benny had been cured that summer and transformed into a boisterous little boy again. Oriana and Reese were often so thankful that it brought them to tears. "That boy can't get enough of playing baseball with Grandpa," Oriana said. "Yeah, he almost caught the ball a few times earlier," Reese said. "Progress." After Reese and Oriana got off the phone, Oriana went to the bathroom to brush her teeth and touch up her makeup. Megan texted to say she needed a little more time to prep before dinner and asked if they could meet at 7:30 instead. Oriana said of course. There was no rush. There was a knock at the door. Oriana walked toward it without thinking twice and opened it to find another bellhop with a tray, upon which sat a bottle of champagne, a glass, and an envelope with Oriana's name on it. "Special delivery," the bellhop said. "Oh, wow. Thank you." Oriana opened the door wider so the bellhop could enter and place the tray on the table.